There's something that is completely different in him. He had this amazing view of the future that is just unique.
We are continuously thinking about what comes next, so you never reach a peak.
This whole idea of altitudes and ecosystems, in the end, after 8 years, people is enjoying and the message is spread all over the world.
The #1 in this year's edition of the world's 50 best restaurants, and therefore the world's best restaurant 2023, sponsored by San Pellegrino and Aquapana, is Central!
It's not about, of course, being #1. This is not about competition. This is not about being the best. Just looking for the truth. Thank you so much.
This is the first time a restaurant from South America, after 21 years, is in this position to change narratives, to change paradigms. All the things that we're doing kind of make sense together. At the moment, you get like 254, 56 ingredients in this current menu, more or less, depending on the season and depending on the ecosystem, and also depending on the dish that we're doing.
At Central, you're not just going to get a piece of Wagyu beef and call it a luxury thing. Instead, you're going to get this whole range of ecosystems from Peru on the plate. So everything comes out as a different altitude.
Okay, you go through maybe 16, 15, 14 ecosystems during the menu, yeah? And from the ocean to the up peaks in the mountains and then the Amazon. And this is important for our creativity. This is important for our existence as a restaurant. That's what I'm saying, like for Central, there's no ending, it's like infinite. We have a concept of deconstruction of the whole cacao, not as chocolate, different textures and preparation that we can achieve with cacao, and that's why we show different parts of the cacao, and then we get like about 10 to 15 textures out of this fruit. So as you can see, this part is this skin of the cacao. This one. We cook it for 48 hours. And we're gonna be able to get a very soft texture with a natural sweetness. And the natural sweetness is coming from the inside pulp, which is here. So what we do is we use this white pulp, we use the sweet, we use the sugar that is coming from this part. This is just to show how the cacao looks. We're gonna start our deconstruction of cacao. We're gonna dice the cacao. I must say that this is something new because we've never imagined that we were able to cook this part. Well, it's like wood. So once we have this texture, I'm gonna transfer to this. Then we have the mucilage of the cacao, which if I show you this, actually this is part of the dish, giving this information, where you can see all these different parts of the cacao. You can see the skin, you can see the veins, you can see the pulp, you can see the leaf of the cacao, and even the flowers. So we're using this white part of the cacao to do a gelatin, which is gonna be the mucilage of cacao. This is a juice that is coming from this area. So we mix with a bit of beeswax. And then we serve it here. Then we're gonna go with the cacao. This is the cacao seed. That's why we get a chocolate color. Then we're gonna add the skin of the cacao. Because we're using the skin, we're gonna get back to the color of the skin. So a bit of red, a little white, gray, which is coming from an Andean clay, and then we get something quite similar to this. So then we're gonna serve a granita that we make with herbs that we find in these Amazonian surroundings. Then we cover this with the ashes that we get from the skin of the cacao. We just burned the skin of the cacao. And here we have a texture of cacao using the cacao chuncho. And then we have some cacao crisps. And here we have a kind of a compote. We will select a compota of cacao nibs, and we're using the same sweetness coming from the cacao, the pulp, which is gonna go here. This plate is gonna be kind of a tasting of cacao in different ways. Then we also serve cacao chuncho variety, 6 months old. We have a 3 weeks old cacao, which is quite special to have this tiny baby cacao. We just serve the whole cacao, just cooked, and we end up having 1 piece of cacao. From this cacao, we're using the paste. We make a tiny hole and we add a cream of the butter that we get from the cacao. Then we're gonna serve some gelatin. This is the white mucilage of the cacao. You remember this part? Made into a cream. And we're just gonna add some flowers of the oxalis. Like this, we managed to explain how can we do the construction of these whole fruits and how many textures you can get out of one fruit like this, the cacao. So it's not about just making chocolate, as of course we do chocolate, like you can see the chocolate here and the chocolate here. But then we can get different textures and flavors, different layers of flavors, and also different forms coming from the cacao, this cacao chuncho. So in this case, it's not about using a lot of ingredients, it's about using one ingredient, which is the cacao. Enjoy! I'm Virgilio Martinez. See you at football in Los Angeles.